Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I urge the committee to support the repair of the National Law Enforcement Telecommunications System Act, which will help the Transportation Security Administration better adapt to 21st century technology and leverage opportunities to utilize law enforcement officers on board commercial flights. TSA, in coordination with the airlines, retains a procedure that allows credentialed law enforcement officers to fly on commercial flights with their service weapons. Currently, an eligible law enforcement officer must present their credentials to the airline check-in desk and receive a physical pass from the airline that they then present to the transportation security officers at the TSA security checkpoint. The TSO then records the law enforcement officer in a physical logbook that lists all law enforcement officers who have passed through that checkpoint while carrying their service weapon. Once through security, the law enforcement officer must declare themselves to the gate agent and then to the flight crew once on board the aircraft. This process is not only technologically inefficient, but it also misses an opportunity to provide TSA a capability to bolster law enforcement presence on flights. None of the logbooks are digitized, making it difficult for TSA to have an accurate idea of how many credentialed law enforcement officers are flying with their service weapons. This hinders an opportunity for Federal Air Marshal Service, a component of TSA, to leverage the law enforcement officers to help police the skies and cover more flights. If the TSA had access to this data, the Federal Air Marshal's Service could use the data to more effectively plan their own operations and bolster the presence of Federal Air Marshals on board flights with credentialed law enforcement officers who volunteer to fly armed. This is why I introduced the repair of the National Law Enforcement Telecommunications System Act, which will require the TSA administrator and the Federal Air Marshal Service Director to conduct a study on digital data collection process for credentialed law enforcement officers flying armed. Included in this study will projected timelines for when this digital data collection could begin and estimates of what would be required to digitize the current system. I'm pleased to be joined on this legislation by my fellow New Yorker and newest member to this committee, Congressman Tim Kennedy. Mr. Chairman, by passing this bill, we have an opportunity to help TSA adopt modern technology and increase the level of security in our skies. I urge you and my colleagues to support this bill, and I yield back.